little less curated than what I usually show on social media because it's all fake. I never post that sad, difficult part of it. I only posted the cool, glamorous, pretty stuff, but here it is. Hi everyone, and welcome to Airplanes, Clouds, and Coffee. If you're new here, hi, my name is Esther, and if you've been here for a minute, then welcome back to my channel, and thank you for being here with me today in a slightly different format. An iced Americano. I got up early this morning to get this, to buy Jeonda cookie. I've been seriously considering making my own. Beautiful. Right now, I'm on my off day. I'm recording from my house on the second floor. So this podcast is something I've been thinking about, contemplating, brainstorming for a while. I've been talking about it with my friends. I've been talking about it, co-hosting with other people. Mainly for me, I wanted a space that was a little slower, softer, a little less curated than what I usually show on social media.
Because it's all fake.
I'm kidding. But this place is not for highlight reels or flexing, which is usually the kind of content that you've been seeing. I would really like to focus on just casual aviation talk, career transparency, and just real conversations. We're not gatekeeping, we're not pretending, and if anybody has it all figured out in life, that is not me, for sure. I wanted to start this right now at this point of my life because, as many of you know, I am in a season of change currently. I just changed companies, I changed airplanes, I'm moving, so there's a lot of stuff going on in my life. And I know a lot of you guys are as well, whether that's in aviation, just in life, in career, in personal growth. So for today's episode, we're talking about a topic, questions that I have been getting non-stop. Number one, why did I change companies? Number two, why did I move to a smaller airplane? Number three, yes, why did I leave the Queen of the Skies? When you flew such a cool airplane, why did you abandon it? I want to give a little bit of background. I started flying back in 2019. I did all my flight training, flight instructing, aerial mapping, and built my 1,500 hours to get to the airlines in 2022. And like a lot of pilots, that path was not perfectly linear as I would have loved it to be. There were delays, there were learning curves, there was a lot of moments of self-doubt, which still happens. Imposter syndrome, financial issues, because flying is not cheap at all, and it's really hard to get a loan. So eventually, getting to the airlines, building experience, I got to the point where I was able to fly the 747. And that's kind of how I launched this channel, started vlogging, showing more of my life on social media. And with all that growth and experience and skills that I've learned, I am now at a new company where I've wanted to work at for a very long time. And I genuinely didn't think all of this would happen this quickly. I feel like it just kind of came out of nowhere and smacked me in the face in the best way possible. Like, I'm so grateful that it all happened, but it happened fast. Anyway, so back to flying the Queen. It was a huge deal for me. It really was. For me, it was a massive career milestone for sure. And it's something that I was really proud of. I was very proud of myself for being able to fly such a big plane, for being able to travel the world, to land myself in Korea, in Incheon, which is where it all started because that's where I was born. So yeah, I learned a ton. I've worked with a ton of pilots, incredible people, and gained a lot of experience. And I just want to be like really clear before I get further into the episode, but I am not trying to spill tea here. So if drama is what you're looking for, this is not it. I'm not trying to badmouth or bash anyone, any person, any company, anything at all. This is just my experience, what worked for me for that chapter of my life, and why I eventually chose something different. So let's get into the big question. Why did I move companies? So the first thing people usually ask is, was there something wrong? Were you unhappy? And the honest answer is no, not really, not at all. Nothing dramatic happened, no big fallout, no drama. I didn't leave because things were bad. I left because I started thinking about my long-term goal in life, my future, not just like for the next year or two, but thinking 10, 20, 30, 40 years of my career down the line. I started imagining and thinking what I wanted for myself. Quality of life, QOL, started to matter to me a lot more. And whether that's whatever you call it, adulting, maturing, it wasn't just about the pay or prestige of flying such a cool airplane and going to such cool places. There was schedule, rest, predictability, protection, all these like fancy SAT words. And yes, benefits, pay, rules, work rules. They do matter. They're not everything. However, they are not nothing either. Having clear work rules, having contractual protections, and better long-term benefits creates stability. I think having that stability and that peace of mind allows you to enjoy your life more, enjoy your job more. So whether you're at work or outside of work, in general, you can enjoy your life more. And obviously, I'm not going to pretend that it's not important. Pay is part of that conversation too. Not in like a chasing the dollar kind of way, but in like a sustainability kind of way. Feeling fairly compensated in the long run changes how you experience your job, your career in the long run. And I also thought about, where do I want to live? How far do I want to commute? And what kind of lifestyle do I want to protect for future me when I get older? And something I really want to normalize that I feel might be like a taboo thing, at least in my culture, it is leaving a company does not mean it was a bad company, right? Like in my culture, I'm Korean, and when I talked to my dad about it, he was a little wary when I was changing companies every couple of years because he thought there was something bad happening. I wasn't getting along with somebody or the company wasn't good. That's not it. I think it was a little harder for him to understand why I was making the decisions I was making because of cultural differences. In Korea, loyalty is everything. You don't just up and switch companies just because there's another better place that's offering better stuff. You stay loyal. That's not usually for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the whole, the company as one. Anyways, so sometimes things can be objectively good, but still not be the right long-term fit for you personally. And that's different for everybody. So emotionally, the decision was very complicated. There was excitement, obviously, because I was going to my career destination company. However, there was fear, a lot of, am I making a mistake? Am I throwing away something I have that's already good? It was a lot of, imposter syndrome moments for me. But one thing I kept coming back to was, don't just stay somewhere because it looks good on paper. Now, next question. I have been getting this question so much is, why would you go to a smaller airplane? Why would you downgrade yourself? Why would you go backwards? And let's just say that there's a really big misconception, especially outside of aviation, that a bigger airplane equals better career. That is not it at all. Airplanes don't mean anything. I mean, it does not mean anything, but just because the airplane's bigger or nicer or more advanced, that doesn't mean that it's always a better career. There could be correlation, but not causation.
I found a really cute meme, so please watch it. Thank you.
And it's just not how pilots think about it. A smaller airplane, per se, doesn't mean that you are doing any less of a job or less important of a job as somebody flying a wide body does. It doesn't mean that it's any less challenging, less fulfilling, or something that's less respectable. If anything, I think that narrow body pilots and regional pilots have to work a lot harder because there's a lot more to do in a short period of time, going up and down multiple times a day. I could say this because I've flown both, and I felt like my life was so much easier, lazier, chill flying long routes because you just kind of sit there for a lot of the time. Versus shorter flights, you have to constantly be on edge. You're doing something, you're busy, you're getting stuff done every minute. Does this sound like I'm bad-mouthing wide-body pilots? No, not at all. Wide-body flying is so cool. They're different skill sets. It's completely different. But I'm just trying to point out the fact that bigger airplane doesn't mean more work. Less airplane doesn't mean you're not as good of a pilot. Anyways, for me, it made a lot of sense in many ways. The training style, the flying style, long-term progression. There's also some lifestyle differences, like major differences that a lot of people don't really realize that happens in the background. Also because I never post that sad, difficult part of it. I only posted the cool, glamorous, pretty stuff. But here it is, you know, the trip structure, the schedule flexibility, how your body feels after flying. Like you're so confused, you don't know which time zone you're in, you don't know which hotel you just checked into, you forget which room you're staying in because it's like similar to the previous hotel and the previous hotel, so you go to the wrong room. Especially with the huge time zone changes and trying to fight jet lag. And over time, that really takes a hit on your body, and I was kind of starting to feel it. Okay, last question is, did I not like the Queen? No, that's not true. I loved flying the 747. I love the presence, the history, the international flying. That is literally the reason I went there. You know, not to toot my own horn, but it's an iconic airplane. It's the Queen. I was able to be a part of something much, much bigger than I could ever fathom. That was so cool. But I'll be honest, it was also very hard on my body. The learning curve in the beginning was a little steeper. It was definitely a different airplane. It's a whale. It's literally a whale because I came from a puny little regional airplane and I went to a whale. So the learning curve was steep. The lifestyle changes, differences were real, and I did love it. However, I did realize just because you love something doesn't mean you have to stay there forever. It sounds very much like
I'm breaking up with you because I love you and I care about you.
not in that sense, but whatever, I don't know how to explain it. Being a pilot, being a wide-body pilot was something that I was really proud of. It was like the thing that I was known for, and let's be real, that's how I became kind of known on social media. And so letting go of it was a little bit saddening and a little bit scary because it was a big change. But growth could sometimes look like this.
You're releasing things that you once held so close.
And you've grown past it, you're growing into another version of you, and whatever I'm stepping into fits better with what I'm growing into. It's like a lot of words. Well, I hope that made sense. I did not eat a single bite of this yet. This is the black sesame 쫀득 cookie. If there's one thing that I hope you all could take away from this episode, it's that careers aren't linear and it's okay to pivot, even when things are good. And it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to go back and forth. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to grow and change. You're allowed to like pink one day and lavender the next day and baby blue the next day. Story of my life. I'm currently in the baby blue phase. Baby blue. Baby blue. Baby blue skies. So before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you guys for spending a part of your day with me today. This podcast is for student pilots, aspiring aviators, current pilots, non-pilots, and honestly, anyone that's navigating a big career change or big life decisions. If you have any questions or topics you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section. I do read them. I'll try my best to respond as well. Once again, thank you for listening to Airplanes, Clouds, and Coffee. Go enjoy a cup of coffee, look up at the clouds, and I'll talk to you next time.